4,000 years, the pyramids at Giza have attracted visitors with their size, grandeur, and mystery. Many secrets about these magnificent structures remain. Built to withstand eternity, they seem in no hurry to reveal them. To the ancient Egyptians, the pyramids were both tombs and individual units within a vast temple network. They were holy sites, tended by royal priests, built to safeguard the worldly remains of the pharaohs from thieves and transport them into the afterlife. The largest, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, today stands almost 450 feet tall. Thousands of workers labored to build the pyramid for the pharaoh Khufu, who reigned about 2500 BC. Over 2 million stone blocks were used, each averaging about 2.5 tons. Despite its size, experts believe it took perhaps only 20 years to complete. The middle pyramid, the tomb of the pharaoh Khafre, is guarded by the Great Sphinx, which stands near the pyramid's causeway. Carved out of a single block of limestone, the 240-foot-long statue combines the body of a lion and the head of a man, most likely the face of the pharaoh Khafre himself. The last of the 3 Great Pyramids is the tomb of the pharaoh Menkaure. Many other tombs and temples are packed into this massive necropolis, which is still a working archaeological dig. Here, scientists continue to make new discoveries that add to our knowledge of ancient Egypt. Many tombs are open for the public to view, with hieroglyphs and carved reliefs depicting ancient Egyptian life. If you're willing to make steep climbs and navigate tight corners, you can even explore the passageways of the Great Pyramid. Tickets to venture inside are limited to 300 people per day, so show up early if you want the grand tour. The site itself is just outside of Cairo and is easily accessible by taxi or bus. To avoid the crowds, arrive in the early morning or early evening. Staying late also has its advantages. Find a good vantage point and you can watch the sun set over the pyramids. It's a site that's been inspiring visitors for over 4,000 years. Largely desert, Egypt is defined by water. The Nile River runs the length of the country, and along its shores, Egypt's ancient inhabitants built their cities and temples to the gods. The river flows north, coming up from East Africa at the border with Sudan, past the spectacular ruins of Abu Simbel and the huge man-made Lake Nasser. up through Luxor, the country's ancient capital, and eventually through Cairo, before splitting into a maze of tributaries and emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. It's along this river where most travelers arrive too, in the bustling modern capital. Cairo is a sprawling city of 18 million and a sight unto itself. Its streets teem with markets, mosques, and museums. At the Egyptian Museum, over 120,000 artifacts are on display from throughout Egypt's storied history, including the famous golden death mask of the pharaoh Tutankhamun. The citadel of Saladin, an ancient fortress, stands guard over Cairo's many mosques and palaces, all available to explore. To see the city from the water, you can rent an Egyptian sailboat called a felucca for a leisurely glide down the Nile. Cairo also makes an excellent base for day trips, too, to the historic sites just outside city limits. Best known, of course, are the pyramids at Giza. Visitors arriving at the site will find plenty of company. As many as 5,000 tourists see the pyramids every day. At Saqqara and Dashur, you can see the earliest known pyramids. Both sites are still near the capital, but further from the crowds. Going even further afield, a 3-hour train ride brings you to Alexandria, Egypt's second largest city. Once home to perhaps the greatest library of the ancient world, Alexandria today has reconnected with its lost past. The Bibliotheca Alexandrina is a modern-day research center and architectural marvel. The city's sandy beaches and vacation resorts make it an excellent place to relax and unwind after the hustle and bustle of Cairo. After the pyramids, Egypt's greatest monuments are in the south. The town of Luxor lies next to the ruins of the ancient Egyptian capital of Thebes. On the east bank of the Nile are two vast temple complexes, Luxor and Karnak. They could be called the greatest open-air museums in the world. Here, the pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom held ceremonies and celebrations. From the west bank of the Nile, you can travel to the Valley of the Kings, where the pharaohs of the 18th, 19th, and 20th dynasties were laid to rest. Its most famous tomb belonged to the boy king, Tutankhamun. The hieroglyphics and reliefs in the tombs chart the pharaoh's accomplishments in life and the hopes in the afterlife. Last on the tour of must-see attractions are the temples of Abu Simbel. Though located at Egypt's southern border, the town is easily accessible by boat along Lake Nasser, by bus, or by air. 65-foot-tall statues of Ramses II guard the entrance. Built as a testimony to his empire's wealth and power, the site continues to impress visitors today of the grandeur of ancient Egypt. The best time to visit Egypt is in the cool weather in springtime, between March and May. Light long-sleeve clothing is a must to protect you from the sun and comply with local sensibilities. English is widely spoken, but learning a bit of Arabic goes a long way to making your trip one in a lifetime.
دقي دقي يا أجراس النهاردة عيد يا صعجانة في أرضنا خلى القلب سعيد دقي دقي يا أجراس النهاردة عيد يا صعجانة في أرضنا خلى القلب سعيد يا أجراس النهاردة عيد يا صعجانة في أرضنا وخلى القلب سعيد دقي دقي يا أجراس النهاردة عيد يا